multiplying and dividing negative numbers. In the last lesson, we went over how to add and subtract negative numbers. In this lesson, let's go over how to multiply and divide them. I actually think that multiplying negative numbers is easier than adding them, because all you need to remember are two simple rules. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. For example, negative 2 times 3 equals negative 6, because negative 2 and 3 have different signs. 2 is negative and 3 is positive. However, negative 2 times negative 3 equals positive 6, because 2 and 3 have the same sign. They're both negative. How about negative 4 times negative 5? Well, are the signs the same or are they different? The signs are the same, right? So negative 4 times negative 5 equals positive 20. Okay, let's do 2 more multiplication problems, and then we'll do some division problems. Remember, if the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. Here's the first problem. Negative 2 times negative 3 times negative 4. We start by reading from left to right, so we have the problem negative 2 times negative 3. Both numbers have the same sign, so we get positive 6. Now we are left with the problem 6 times negative 4. 6 is positive and 4 is negative. That is, the signs are different. So our final answer is negative 24. The second problem is similar to the previous one. Negative 2 times negative 4 times 5. We start by reading from left to right, and we have the problem negative 2 times negative 4. The signs of negative 2 and negative 4 are the same, so our answer is positive 8. Now we have the problem 8 times 5, and this equals 40. So our final answer is positive 40. So, multiplication of negative numbers is just like working with positive numbers if you remember to apply the rules. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. Okay, so now let's do some problems in which we are dividing negative numbers. The rules for division are exactly the same as the rules for multiplication. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. For example, 6 divided by negative 2 equals negative 3, because the signs of 6 and negative 2 are different. However, negative 8 divided by negative 2 equals 4, because the signs of negative 8 and negative 2 are the same. Okay, let's do 2 more division problems, and then we'll finish up the lesson by having you try some problems on your own. Here's the first one. 8 divided by 2 divided by negative 2. Now, this problem may look a little funky, but it's not a big deal if we just read from left to right. The first problem we come to is 8 divided by 2, and this equals 4. Now we are left with 4 divided by negative 2. The signs of 4 and negative 2 are different, so our final answer is going to be a negative number. Negative 2, in fact. So, as you can see, if we just follow the rules, even the strangest looking problem can be answered easily. Before moving on to the last problem of this lesson, I would like to point out one thing that is really important. We need to do division problems such as the one we just solved by reading from left to right. If, for example, we had divided 2 by negative 2 before we divided 8 by 2, we would have gotten the wrong answer. Let me show you what I mean. If we first divided 2 by negative 2, we would have gotten negative 1 and been left with 8 divided by negative 1. 8 divided by negative 1 equals negative 8. And as you can see, negative 8 is very different from the correct answer of negative 2. So, remember to read the problem from left to right, and you'll be fine. Let's try one more problem. How about 15 divided by negative 3 divided by 5? Again, an odd-looking problem, But it's an easy one if we just read it from left to right. Reading from left to right, the first problem we come to is 15 divided by -3. And because the signs are different, we get -5. Now we are left with -5 divided by 5. The signs of -5 and 5 are different, so our answer is -1. So once again, if we just read from left to right and follow our rules, we get the right answer. Great, so that finishes up our discussion. In this lesson, we went over the rules for multiplying and dividing negative numbers, and these rules, I hope you agree, are fairly straightforward. When multiplying or dividing numbers, if the signs are the same, their answer is positive. If the signs are different, their answer is negative. Now it's time for you to try some problems on your own. I'm going to mix a few addition and subtraction problems into this set of questions because it's really important that you don't get the rules for addition and subtraction mixed up with the rules for multiplication and division. Good luck!